Good afternoon, my movie loving brothers and sisters. How are you guys doing on this Tuesday afternoon? Thank you for joining us on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we talk about all things movies, movie news, TV, and other screen-related news. I am, of course, your humble host, Key Toothman, and I am joined today by my friend and colleague and co-host. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's just me today, guys, flying solo. So, yeah. But yeah, guys, if you're new around here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it, where you need it. Yeah, Lucas is still out of town, and it's Shane's day off, so he'll be back tomorrow. And then, of course, we have Thanksgiving and, the Guardian special coming. So much coming, so... guys, also, if you're new around here or just joining us, don't forget we do have our Xbox Series S that we are giving away. There's a video up on the channel for lots of more information about it. But more or less, if you send in a super chat during any live show or today's live show, I will take one of these here raffle tickets we have, and I will put it in this here bucket of Doctor Strange that we have. And it will enter you in a chance to win that Xbox Series S. So make sure you're putting in those super chats for your chance to win that Xbox. Also, guys, if you're new around here, the way we like to do things on the show is we like to go over a few main topics. And at the end of the show, we like to answer any comments or questions or things that you guys have been leaving for us down in the chat below. So make sure you guys are asking comments, questions, and make sure you're sticking around to the end of the video so you can see all those comments and questions be answered. Once again, I am flying solo, so bear with me. But yeah, with that being said, and I think everything down, we're going to jump right in to our first main topic today. And our first main topic today is this. I said I wouldn't rush out and see it, and I didn't rush out and see it. But last night, I sat down with the fam, and we watched on Apple Plus Apple TV Plus, we watched the new Spirited movie. And we've talked about this a little bit on the channel. It stars Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It's kind of a whole, trope on the whole Ghost of Christmas past, present, future thing. It was overall, it was a little too much song and dance for me. I'm not a big song and dance guy or musical guy or whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't, it was, man, it was almost right on the edge of having enough for me to be like, okay. And they even played with it. Like in the beginning, it seemed like that they were, sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, it seemed like that they were going to go right into another music a performance right after it had just given us one or two, and then one of the characters jumps in. He's like, whoa, 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 we're not doing this again. And I was like, oh, thank God. And it actually kind of plays into all the ideas that they're doing too much of the musical. So I thought that was kind of clever and cool. Ryan Reynolds is great, right? I mean, he's just so fun and everything. He plays his character perfectly. He is Ryan Reynolds, as usual, playing Ryan Reynolds. He's a lot of fun. He's full of energy, and he's everybody loves him. As we find out, me and Shane had talked about on the show how it kind of disappointed us that we found out that Will Ferrell will only be playing the Ghost of Christmas Present, I believe it was. And it turned out that wasn't the case. Like, I don't want to spoil anything from the movie, but we ended up getting a lot more Will Ferrell than we initially expected that we were going to get, right? And I actually enjoyed that a lot as well. I gotta admit, as much as I hate to admit it, I had a lot of fun, man. Trying to adjust this camera here a little bit. Here we go. I had a lot of fun with it. I really, really enjoyed it overall. Even my daughter, who is, just a year old, even she was into it at points. She loved the song and the dance stuff, and maybe that encouraged me, I guess, a little bit to like it in the beginning. But as it went on, I really was like, you know what, this isn't bad. It's well made. It's Christmas. It has that Christmas feel to it. It just felt like a romp. It just felt like a lot of energy, a lot of fun, playful. It felt for kids and for family. And like I was telling Shane, on the show the last time we talked about it, when there was a new trailer for it, that this seems like the perfect thing to throw on around Thanksgiving time when everyone's just kind of sitting around and there's nothing to watch. Whoa, there's this new Christmas movie with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, and it's available to all of us while we're sitting at home eating turkey and filling our stomachs, right? So yeah, it makes total sense for them to release this the way they did, and I thought it was a brilliant movie, man, overall, especially for what it was. Now, if I would have went out to the theaters to see this movie, I think this movie would be more of a thumbs down movie to me, but I didn't. I seen it at home. I got to just, lounge around. I could get up when I wanted to and go warm up more food or popcorn or whatever. Like all movies to me these days, it was just a little long. But it didn't drag too much. Just, again, I think just a little too much song and dance for me. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I had a fun time with the movie, and I would recommend you guys to check it out. Especially, again, Thanksgiving's just around the corner, a couple days away, and there's going to be a lot of downtime. And this is a perfect one of those ones that you can kind of put on and not pay attention to when you don't want to pay attention to it. For instance, when they start doing song and dance stuff and singing and stuff, right? You could use that time to go refill your plate with more stuffing or whatever the hell you're doing. Go outside and have a cigarette or whatever it is you do. You could do that in between these times, or have a conversation with family, right? People are always around. It's one of those perfect movies that could kind of play while everyone talks and things like that too, because you don't have to focus a lot of attention to it either. It's not like this big story and lots going on that I need to know about. So yeah, guys. Overall, like I said, I really enjoyed it. If you guys have not checked out Spirited, it's only been up for a week or so. I imagine a lot more people will have time to get around to it. Like I said, here in the next few days, but if you've seen it already, let me know down in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Did you like it? Did you like Ryan Reynolds in it? I thought Will Ferrell and Reynolds were great together. I would love to see more like buddy style adventure movies with the two of them. Lots of fun. Good to see Will Ferrell back in something good that I can actually kind of enjoy. It's been a while, Will. Love you, dude, but yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of Spirited down in the comment section below. All right. With that down, we're going to move into our second main topic today. And our second main topic today is this. So lots of movie reviews today. Now that it's just me and I don't have to rely on anyone else had seen these movies, you're going to get some movie reviews from me today. And right now, I want to talk specifically about Don't Worry, Darling, right? And now everyone that knows about this movie knows that it's what they know, or the reason they do know it is because the drama that was surrounding the making of the movie. As it was coming to theaters, we found out, a lot about the Harry Styles and Shia LaBeouf stuff. He says he quit. She says she fired him. He has proof. She looks weird. Then we found out Florence Pugh has we hear Florence Pugh has issues with her and that they were feuding on set, and then she denies that. And then people say, well, Florence Pugh was upset because Olivia Wilde was having sexual relationships with her cast, which specifically Harry Styles, who was cast to replace Shia LaBeouf. And then we found out that was true. She was having a sexual relationship with her actor. So then we wondered, well, then was there beef between her and Florence Pugh? Who knows, man? All I want to say is that I don't know what's going on with all of that drama and shit. But because of all of that shit, it kind of, and then also there was the Chris Pine spitting thing. Did Harry Styles spit on Chris? So much controversy. But yeah, so because of all this controversy and drama surrounding it, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to go out to theaters and check this out. And you know what? I don't really care. I'll see it if I see it, when I see it, if I see it, But just maybe, I don't know, last week or so, it was creeping into the late night hours, as I like to say. And yeah, I was scrolling around on all of my apps. I have every app known to man, and I want to find something good and new to watch. And I come across HBO Max, I believe, that's playing Don't Worry, Darling, or has Don't Worry, Darling up now. And I see it, and I'm like, hey, said I would watch it if I wanted to, when I wanted to, and here it is, and it's late. It's just me by myself. I'm in the living room. I have the big TV. I have the sound system. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will. And then a little bit of it started to play, right? And I mean, immediately within like 40 seconds of what started to play, like, you know how it does. It'll show you like a little example, right, of the movie while you're deciding if you want to click on it or not. And it did. And immediately I was taken in. And I was like, oh, man, this looks awesome. And I didn't even let that trailer or piece of marketing material finish. I immediately clicked into the movie, started the movie. This movie was awesome. I really enjoyed this movie. I I can't believe it's received as much hate on the Rotten Tomato scale as it is. I believe it was like a 34, 37%. And audience was higher, 70s, maybe 80s or whatever. And good on you, audience. It did seem like this movie could kind of play on a lot of tropes and things that a lot of other movies had done. So I could totally get as a critic that you're like, hey, been there, did that. But I thought it did some of those things a lot better than any recent movies that I had seen. Olivia Wilde's Booksmart was one of, if not the best directorial debut that I've seen to date. And I thought she directed this movie beautifully. She also acted in this movie in a small role. And it's neither here nor there. I mean, it wasn't good or bad, but Harry Styles, for who he is, I thought it was all right. I'll give him that. But Florence Pugh stole the show. Who knew she was so amazing? I mean, you all can tell me, oh, I knew. Well, good for you guys. Good for you. You Kreskin future seeing Professor Xavier mother effers, because for me, all I had to go off of really was, her in that Black Widow role, and then she played an episode in Hawkeye. Like, I mean, she plays that character cool and everything, but this is way different, and this really shows you that this girl's got some chops, man, and she knows how to act. And I can't wait to see her in more future and stuff moving forward that's more like that suspense and thriller and like, what the fuck is going on? I my review on YouTube, I called it very Lynchian, and it is very Lynchian. And if you guys don't know David Lynch or haven't seen anything like David Lynch, it also feels a lot kind of like what WandaVision felt like, right? Where you're in this town, it seems secluded, everything's weird, everyone's acting different. And you're just like, the whole time you're like, what the hell is going on? And you fall in love with the main character, again, Florence Pugh, because her performance is just stellar. It's just outstanding, and you can't help but not fall in love with her. And I think that it does a great job of being suspenseful, and like, again, with the Lynchian and what the hell is going on here, and all of that. It does a very good job of it all. I think it may wrap it up too nicely with a bow at the end for some people. I said that for Shane specifically. And I get that, and I think that's where it hurts. The film suffers with a lot of the critic reviews, but I thought it worked for me. I didn't care. Yeah, the thing that makes it suck is that last scene, the last few scenes, the ending of that movie really makes you feel like you just watched like a Black Mirror episode or something, or a Twilight Zone episode. It wraps the movie up in a weird way that makes it feel like you just watched an episode of the Twilight Zone or something, instead of you just watched a movie, which I don't think matters really that much to me. Thumbs up, thumbs down, world. This movie's good, man. Go check this out. It's on HBO Max. I know a lot of you guys got HBO Max. Definitely check out Don't Worry, Darling. It is definitely worth a watch, especially if you're in the mood for something, like I said, suspense, thriller, who done it kind of thing, mystery. Definitely give Don't Worry, Darling a shot. But yeah, let me know in the comment section, have any of you guys checked out Don't Worry, Darling yet? I know some of you at least know what it is or know the drama surrounding it. But yeah, will you check it out? Have you? What'd you think? Definitely let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, with that down, we are going to move on to our last movie review today, I promise. And the last movie reviewed today is this. And the third main topic today is this. So another movie I got around to seeing. Now, this movie, I was pretty confident that I was not going to watch like ever. Pardon me. And that is Where the Crawdads Sing, right? And it's based off of a book. A very well-known book, very popular book. I don't know much about the book. What I can tell you is going into this, I remember seeing the trailers a couple years ago at CinemaCon or something like that. One of those things. And I remember thinking, wow, this kind of looks creepy and cool, actually. And then I seen another trailer of it later that kind of gave it this like whole love story looking feel. And I was like, that makes more sense. And I was a lot less interested then. So it's, again, a week or so ago, I'm scrolling around on, I believe, Netflix this time is where I seen Where the Crawdads Sang. And I come across it. And I'm like, all right, there it is. And it does the thing where a little piece of it starts playing. And I'm like, damn, this kind of looks good, man. I kind of want to see this. I think I want to see this. So I jump onto the old iPhone and go over to the old Google and get on the old Rotten Tomatoes. And I check out the score for it. And critically, it's like a 32 or 36% or something. And I'm like, but I remember this, I remembered it being received well. I remember seeing so much positive stuff online about it. So I was so confused. So I click in, I go over to the audience reviews. Audience 97%. I'm in. So I watch it. Man, I got to admit, the audience has it right. I'm sure that the majority of those verified reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for Where the Crawdads Sang are people who love the book, read the book, know the book, were waiting for this movie because of the book. And those people are the people that are like, hell yeah, they did everything we wanted them to do from the book. And as a Harry Potter fan and fans of things that are adapted, we all know that it doesn't always turn out that way, right? So really cool that the true fans, which are, the fans of the book, they got what they wanted, and the people that seen it enjoyed it. So again, I was sold, and I watched it, and I think the audience got it right. Now for me, again, this is typically a movie that I would kind of be upside down on and ass backwards, because it does have that mystery, thriller, suspense, but then there's like a hour in there, a chunk in the middle, like the whole second act that's more like probably what The Notebook or something is. I've never seen The Notebook, but it's more like a love romance story thing, and I'm sure that's a big reason why, partly why the book is so big. It seems like a YA, type of a young adult type of book. But yeah, if you haven't seen anything about it, it's a girl. It picks up really quickly with a dead body being found in a marsh. It's a man. There's a young lady who lives out in the marsh, and they immediately accuse her. And we start the movie with her being tracked down, arrested, and taken to trial and be tried for this accusation of murder. And like I said, the setup was cool. And then you get to see some of the stuff that happened in her childhood, and that stuff's a little rough to watch, but it feels so compelling and surreal. It feels like it could happen to somebody, and I think you understand that as a viewer, and it makes it more compelling and makes you be like, damn, this isn't cool, and you sympathize with her a lot more. And then you find out, how she grew up alone, and how the marsh really is her family and her home and all of that stuff, and all that's sad. And then that she's only being tried because the town views her as this parabola that lives out in the freaking marsh. She's like the man thing, basically, right? And yeah, and so you're on her side the whole time too. Then there's a Shyamalan twist at the end, maybe a couple, maybe not Shyamalan, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and it wraps up. It may wrap up with a bow and all that stuff too. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending just because I didn't expect it, I guess. I mean, I just didn't expect what happened to happen. So I guess that's a good thing too, right? Because usually for me personally, these are things that I could predict is going. Oh, I can see where this is going, or I can see what's going to happen next, or yada da 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 da. And in this case, I didn't really have that. So yeah, yeah, it was a overall and thumbs up, thumbs down world. This is a thumbs up movie as well to me. It sounds a little weird to hear me say that I liked all three of these movies in a row when they all were movies that I kind of avoided and didn't go out and see when they came out. But I did, yeah. As specifically, Don't Worry, Darling. I regret not watching in theaters because I really liked that movie. But also, I will say part of the reason why I watched Where the Crawdads Sang was because I watched Don't Worry, Darling. And it put me in this mood to, I think, be able to accept these different kind of films that I wasn't accepting before. Because I was like, oh, man, but what if it's like Don't Worry, Darling? And so I was like, fuck, all right, I'm going to try the Where the Crawdads Sang thing, just because Don't Worry, Darling had kind of changed my whole tune on the whole thing. But yeah, again, overall, thumbs up, thumbs down world. I like this movie. It does kind of make me interested in the book and curious and how all that worked out. I'm glad audiences love it. And I'm glad to see that it's on Netflix. So if you guys haven't checked it out or had time to, it's up on Netflix. Big holiday break. Go check it out. And if you have checked it out, definitely let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we're going to move on to our fourth main topic today. And our fourth main topic today is an actual topic and not a movie review. So I'm sure there's happy people out there. And what I want to talk about specifically is the David Ayers Suicide Squad, right? So I'm sure many of you have seen the original Suicide Squad when it came out in 2016 or whatever. And most of you probably didn't enjoy it. I didn't hate that movie. I thought it really had ups and downs. Like it was a roller coaster of a ride, but it had ups. There was moments that I really enjoyed in that movie. I'll admit it. But then there was moments that I thought were like some of the worst stuff I had seen. But as many of you know, should know, studios have more control over, the final cut and the final say. And just like what happened with, what's his name? Zack Snyder, right? And his Justice League kind of happened to David Ayers. So, a couple years ago during the pandemic, HBO Max decides to bring back Zack Snyder and let's give your cut of the director's cut of your Justice League movie. And they let him do it. It was a big thing. It was huge marketing. Obviously, they didn't bring any money in for the studio or for HBO Max because how could it? But it did bring in a lot of buzz, right? And it made a lot of fans have this renewed invigoration and idea that maybe they're going to go back to the Snyderverse and all these things. Obviously, we're beyond that. And then in this case, we already have another Suicide Squad movie that was made by James Gunn, who is now the head of DC, right? But yeah, so I have an article pulled up I want to go over to check out, and this is from Screen Rant. And you see the headline here: Suicide Squad director's cut could be released, says David Ayer. And I don't want to get too much into all the crap on this, but I do want to specifically talk about the quote that he said. And you can see here a tweet that he had on Twitter where he said he's always been a good guy, and he's referring to James Gunn, of course. He is incredibly respectful to me. As far as my cut, of course, I want it to be seen, and I believe there's a real shot at it. It just won't be tomorrow. Now, this has kind of been going on, murmuring for the last year, ever since really the Zack Snyder version of Justice League got its release. He's been kind of whispering in the background going, hey, what about me? What about my release? What about how I was screwed over, right? And I believe according to David Ayers, he already has his cut of it too. I don't know if it's finished or polished or if they would have to put money back into it. I'm sure they would, at least to an extent. But that being said, I mean, he's really interested in doing this, and these whispers in the background are starting to become voices that want to be heard, and David Ayers is the main voice behind that. So we see him talking about it again now, about how he wants to get that version, his Zack Snyder, his director cut version of the Suicide Squad out there. So first I want to just give you my thoughts on that. So my thoughts on all that are, look, the Zack Snyder Justice League, I can admit, was a better movie than the original Justice League. But was it worth going out and spending all that money and shit to do? I don't think so. And all I think it did really was irk fans, because it kind of made fans believe, excuse me, kind of made fans believe that they were going to get that world back, right? That they were going to get Zack Snyder's DC world back. And they weren't. No matter how many people watched and reviewed and loved his version of Justice League, DC and HBO and them were never planning on bringing Zack Snyder back to do a Snyderverse. So it feels kind of redundant to an extent, right? Specifically, again, in this one, because we already have, because it's not like there's a Justice League 2 out there when we redid Justice League. But there is a Suicide Squad 2, right? There's the Suicide Squad. So there's already another movie that exists out there. I don't know. As far as could it be a better movie? Sure. I believe wholeheartedly it probably is. David Ayers has been talking about for years, since that movie received 1 ounce of criticism. He's been saying, hey, it ain't me. They took my cut and they made their own shit and they gave you this clobbered up mess. And he's been saying that since the beginning of all of this. So do I believe it's a better movie or could be a better movie? Sure. Yeah, for sure. But does it matter? And do I care to see it? Definitely not. For sure not. Why would I? Why would we? Why do we want to see a better version of a movie we hated, from 8 years ago that now connects nothing to what's going on with DC? We don't. If this was for anybody, this is for David Ayers, right? This is for him to have a little bit of credibility back, just like Zack Snyder, to go, see, look, it wasn't me. That's all this is for. Even if it does give me an okay movie, cool. But again, it'll end up just being like Zack Snyder's Justice League. Just, okay, we have it. It's there. Thanks, right? I mean, what do I say? But yeah, so on the question of what are the odds we actually get this thing, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna say high, right? We got the Zack Snyder Justice League movie, and I didn't think that all those fans pushing for that would get it. I don't think all the fans are going to push for this one to get it, but I think David Ayers can push this enough to James Gunn, and James Gunn can have enough empathy as a director and a creator to go, and now being in this position to help, to go, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, David Ayers. Let's remake or redo or do a director's cut of your Suicide Squad film. So I could see it happen. Plus, it brings up a bunch of buzz. It shows that James Gunn's willing to do other creative stuff that's not, they talked a lot about in the article with Screen Rant how James Gunn wants to move forward with DC, right? And that the Suicide Squad movie is not moving forward. That's stuff that, again, is 8 years old or whatever, or 6 years old or whatever. So it's not really moving forward, but it does, if he did do it, it would show that he has the gumption to try those things here and there at least. And again, I don't think I really care overall. whether we get this or not. But unless the only way that this really affects me is if this movie is like so astronomically good that it's like, whoa, what happened? This is all ass backwards. David Ayer is one of the best directors ever or something. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. So yeah, look, David Ayers, I'm wishing you the best. I'm campaigning for you because I like I said, I know you've been saying since the beginning that they screwed you over, and come on, we believe, we know how Hollywood works, so there's no way you didn't get screwed over. The question is just how long were you down there grabbing your ankles and letting it happen to you? And it was probably a long time, so I'm rooting for you, man. I hope you are able to get this. If there is fans out there that want to see it, I hope you guys are able to get it too. Like I said, I'm sure all the Zack Snyder fans would clamor for this as well, just to try to bring up that whole thing again. But see, that may be something you want to avoid too, right? But anyways, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this whole thing. You know, do you want to see a Suicide Squad director cut? Do you care? Is it too late? Does it matter since we're so far on and we already have another Suicide Squad? Yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Okay, with that down, we are going to jump into our fifth and final main topic today. And our fifth and final main topic today is this. So we've been also talking on the channel a lot recently in the recent months about Marvel's new Blade movie, right? As we all know, they cast Mahershala Ali, which we love and we're excited about. But they also had a director, and they were just starting to film, and they had a script done, just beginning filming, and had some issues, and more or less fired the director. They can say whatever they want, creative differences. We went our separate ways, but the fact is, Marvel let this guy go. And I heard at the time that there was murmurs that Mahershala Ali was unhappy with the script specifically, and I was talking to a lot of people in the chat over the weekend about Blade and Mahershala Ali and martial arts and all that. But specifically, Mahershala Ali was kind of upset because he had spent all this time and hard work and dedication to mixed martial arts and learning how to do stunts and fights and kicks by himself, and then the script that he was given got to show off about none of that, and that upset Mahershala Ali, and it made him decide, I believe that made Marvel decide to go separate ways with this director, which is the only thing that makes sense, because if Mahershala Ali was all on board with this director, then he would have probably walked with this director too. But hey, I that's just speculation. But yeah, so we know that they fire the guy. Then there's talks that Mahershala Ali is kind of frustrated and that he's thinking, maybe I just walk away from this whole thing with Blade. And we hear that, and we were thinking, no, don't go, Mahershala Ali, right? But we were worried. And so, yeah, but we have a new update and new information on it, and I want to jump over to this article I have from the Hollywood Reporter. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this, and don't take me too far on these names because I don't know how to say all these things. But Marvel Studios' Blade is unsheathed once more, this time with a whole new creative team. Yann Demange, who directed the pilot of HBO's boundary-pushing horror series Lovecraft Country, has come on board to helm the vampire action thriller that still has Mahershala Ali attached to star. Now, it does go on to say that Michael Starberry, who did Ava DuVernay's When They See Us, was also hired to pen a new script. So again, this leads me to believe that the murmurs and the whispers and the chatters we were hearing that Ali was upset with the script is true. And that clearly coincided with the director. And so the director had to go, and that means the script had to go, well, vice versa, right? The script had to go, which in turn mean the director had to go. So now they have to do this all over again, right? Which sucks for us as Marvel Blade fans, because that means it's going to be another, who knows, 2 or 3 years before we get this film, now that they're having to pen a whole new script. Now, that being said, I imagine that they go use a lot of the stuff that they had in that original script, but alter some things. I imagine plot points and characters and casting and all that is very similar. However, they have decided probably to make a few changes with just scenes and things that happen action-wise. Like I said, I'm assuming Mahershala Ali wanted a lot more action. He wanted to be able to kick some ass. That's one of the coolest things about the character of Blade when Wesley Snipes played him is Wesley Snipes did all that stuff. He did his stunts. He kicked ass and he took names. And we've seen that. And we've seen it, and he was so physical too. And it was like, Wesley Snipes is a badass, so Blade's a badass. And it works, Over the weekend, someone mentioned Michael J. White playing Blade. God, what a perfect casting, right? He's physically a specimen of his own right? He's almost not human. He's so physically gifted. He's also a black belt in multiple martial arts, and he's a badass. He can kick ass. He'll forever be Spawn to me, so it's hard to see him as anyone besides that, but I could totally see him as Blade. But yeah, I'm glad we got Mahershala Ali, and here's the thing. Just to be completely honest, what I know about Lovecraft Country is that it stars Jonathan Majors, that he played a big role in it. Other than that, that's it. I also know that a lot of people tell me it's really good and you should see it or you should give it a try and all this, but it's never seemed like something that interested me, so I never gave it a shot. So I can't tell you a lot about this guy. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is that it has good reception and people love that stuff. Lovecraft Country again. But other than that, this isn't like a big splashy hit, right? And I said this when we were talking about who's it going to be. I said it either does have to be a big splashy hit, right? You bring back Del Toro and he directs your new Marvel Blade, and then everyone's like, whoa! Or it has to be someone that we just don't know. And in this case, we did. We got someone that I just don't know. Me personally, and us as fans, this isn't a big name director. I'm not sure if this guy's even directed anything on the level of a feature film for a production company like Disney or Marvel Film, right? I doubt very seriously he has. So this is a good thing, I think. I think this is a good thing. The script rewrite is the best news that we could get out of this, I believe, because, again, we don't want Mahershala Ali to walk away. We want Mahershala Ali as Blade. I think Mahershala Ali will be a great Blade, and we're all going to love it. But we have to get that in the script, and we have to get that badass Blade that kicks ass and takes names. And if we find out years later, when we do get it, that we got it because Mahershala Ali made sure of it, then we'll be even happier that we still got Mahershala Ali. So yeah. That being said, I'm glad that they've pinned their director. They've got this down. They're now pinning the script. They got the guy. They know who they want to write it, so they're starting to write it. They had began filming some stuff in Atlanta, so I don't know how they mix all this together now. I imagine you have to sit down and get all this script stuff worked out. But like I said, I imagine it also isn't a huge change. I think there's going to be some big changes, but the majority of the script will probably remain somewhat the same. At least the story will remain intact and everything. So it may not be hard to write a script around that, knowing what, all the parameters of it, right? Since Marvel movies are all about checking boxes anyways, right? Yeah. So guys, what do you think, man? Are you happy that we got this director? Have you guys seen Lovecraft Country? Did you like this show? Did you like the director? Do you think this is a good fit? maybe you guys got some more information inside on this guy than I do, but I just don't know enough about him to give you my opinion on how exciting this is or isn't. I think it's exciting, like I said, in the sense that it's someone we don't know. So it's a fresh, new face with fresh, new ideas is the hope, right? And when that works out, it's always good for everybody. But what do you guys think? Are you guys happy about it, sad about it? You care? You just don't want Blade anymore? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right. With that down, that is our last main topic today. So with that being our last main topic today, I am seeing no questions or comments in the chats today. It says there are hot girls here, but I am not seeing any of them. It shows that there are 3 people currently in the chat. If you guys are seeing any hot girls, make sure you let me know, but I'm not seeing them. So yeah, if you guys can hit me with that thumbs up button while you're in here watching this, I'd really appreciate it. Guys, don't forget again, we are giving away that Xbox. We still have these big happy raffle tickets that we're waiting to give away to one of you guys, and pick out of that cool Doctor Strange bucket that I am putting all of them in. So make sure you guys are sending in super chats, telling your friends, spread the love on the video for the Xbox. We want somebody to win that damn Xbox, and we need to get to 20K subs to do it. And we're still 600-700 subs away from getting to 20K, but we'll get there. And when we do, we'll give away that Xbox, and I hope one of you guys win it. But yeah, with that down, we will be back here tomorrow. Shane should be back in the studio tomorrow, and we should have more fun, exciting new movie news. I will figure out our schedule for Thanksgiving, if I'll do a show that day, if we'll do one on Friday instead, or if we'll do a Guardians open spoiler or watch along. We're going to do something. So I kind of got to get together with the crew, get together with Lucas, Shane, Trevor, and kind of see what everybody's plans are and what everyone wants to do, because it is Thanksgiving, right? Me personally and my family, my wife and I, we're not the biggest Thanksgiving fans, so we could care less whether we celebrate it or not, or whether we go places or not, and all that thing, and all those things. I do see we have a question down in the chat now. Lily Ali says, must-see Christmas movie? Oh, man. For me, lately as an adult, and you know this, it has been The Night Before, right? I mean, I really love Seth Rogen. I like Anthony Mackie a lot, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's one of the best actors on the planet. So I love all 3 of those dudes. They're the main stars of the movie, and there's so much other little cameos and fun and little tidbits of cliche holiday goodness in there. There's also a play on the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future in that as well, which again is just classic. So for me in the past, I would say, really since this came out in the last 5 years or so, that has been my every year I guarantee watch The Night Before. And other than that, I mean, if you were making me pick before A Night Before it came out, I would say for me, iconically, for Key, the most iconic classic Christmas movie was Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. And I know a lot of people probably say the first Home Alone, but for me, it was 2: Lost in New York. And there was nothing like that movie. And to this day, as you know, Lily Ali, it's inspired me to want to go to New York on Christmas, which I plan to do. So yeah, I would say that's a must watch. That's one that I have to show my daughter. And then I will give you one more. I'll go animated. For me, animated must see Christmas movie, 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler. I know it's not a Christmas movie as much as it's like a Hanukkah or whatever movie, but it is awesome. I used to try to watch it every year. I don't own it, so it became a problem. But on the years that it is streaming for free somewhere, I definitely go check it out. And I can't wait to show my daughter that because it is a romp for sure. It's just a lot of fun. Lots of basketball involved. Adam Sandler's everybody as always. Yeah. So love that movie too for sure. But yeah, like I was saying, we'll figure out what we're going to do with the Guardian special and whether we're going to do a watch along or a post show or we'll do it that night or the morning or all that. I will figure all that out and we'll talk about all that on the show tomorrow, hopefully with Shane. I know Lucas will be back in town tomorrow. But Shane's scheduled for Monday, Wednesday, Friday now. So hopefully we'll have one of them back here to chat up with us about some of these things. But yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out some of these movies I reviewed today, make sure you go check them out. And if you haven't gotten all your Thanksgiving shopping and shit done, make sure you go out there and get all that shopping and shit done. And don't forget to send in a super chat to win an Xbox so you could get some of that shopping done early for your kiddos. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate the few chat questions that we did have. It's always the funnest part of the show is interacting with you guys, the fans, and the audience. And yeah, I will see you guys here tomorrow, same time, same place. So we will see you guys then.